Hello, I'm Stephanie Watson, and I'm the author of this book called Pennsylvania, which is a middle grade fantasy novel for ages 8 and up, available anytime after October 5th, 2021. And this is Behind the Book with Stephanie Watson, episode 4. So, I am a big believer in writing by hand. Obviously, when you get this in your hands, it's not in my handwriting. It's typed up. So at a certain point, I do type up my drafts, but I really have come to love writing by hand. And I do it in very crummy crummy new cheap notebooks, and there's a reason why I do that. I like the writing to feel as unprecious as possible, and a place where I can just play and explore and not worry about being perfectly perfect. And this is a sample page from I was doing some rewriting of Pennsylvania last year, and I went back to my notebook. Some people just do maybe the first draft in their handwriting, and then eventually move it over to the laptop, type it out, and then never go back to the handwriting. What I've discovered is that it can be really useful at any point in the process to go back to the notebook and write it by hand and let it be a mess again. Because I don't know, you can't really read this. I can barely read it. This is more like representative of the quality of what I'm writing at the time. Like it's messy. There's stuff that I've crossed out. I'm writing notes to myself. Like here, I don't know if you can see this, but I said, "Blech, the writing feels so stuck and terrible." So in that moment, I was like, it's kind of herky jerky, and that's fine. I've come to really respect that about my process, that it can be a big mess, and I just need to do it this way. But then here on the next page, I see language that after I just said, "Blech, the writing feels so stuck and terrible," I see language that did end up in the finished draft. So it's useful. And again, like writing in the notebook, it's just like, it allows me to be free and messy. And it might seem like kind of taking a step back from the typed draft, and I guess it is, but it also allows me to take huge leaps forward because I'm more free. And it can seem like the slow way, like, oh, it's slow to write by hand, slower than, speed typing. But in this sense, the slow way is the fast way. It's the shortcut to discovering the words that I needed for the story. Like, and I sometimes draw pictures. Here's this, at late in the game of revising Pennsylvania, I introduced this idea of a giant Ferris wheel, and also the self-portraits that are sort of the oracle, or in the case of Pennsylvania, the zoracle. So writing by hand, if you're working on a story and you ever get stuck, or you just want to kind of free yourself to come up with new ideas, I can't recommend writing by hand enough. So thanks for joining me for episode 4 of Behind the Book with Stephanie Watson.